So for the first 30 seconds, starting in a standing position, all we're going to do is place our hands on our ribs, stand in a nice even stance, and then we're just going to tune into the physical movement of breath. So take a nice big inhale and a nice slow exhale. And just start to feel that bit of movement of breath underneath your hands. We got 10 more seconds here, just tuning in and feeling that physical action of breath. All right, and now we're going to hold onto the ribs and glide your ribs side to side. So try to keep your hips stable and not moving at all. And then just glide your ribs from side to side. Almost imagine that you're pushing your ribs from side to side with your hands. So you get that idea of just moving through the spinal column and the ribs are gliding. We got 10 seconds left here. And time, nicely done. Okay, now step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and we're just gonna take it into some hula hoops. So we're gonna swing our hips around, nice big generous circles, just get those hips moving. And then just take a second here to notice, how are your hips feeling? How's your back feeling? How's your knees feeling? How are your ankles feeling? All right, and then keep that foot forward, but switch directions, circle the other way. Nice, and then switch your feet. So step your other foot forward and then back to those circles, big circles in one direction. Awesome, and then circle the other way. Nice, 5 seconds left. Beautiful, and then back to an even stance, so step your feet in line with each other, and then we're gonna just take it into 30 seconds of some side bends. So if your shoulders and arms feel good about it, reach up and overhead, but if that doesn't feel like it's great for your shoulders right away, just find that side bend. So really we're focusing on the movement of the spine, and then the shoulder reach is just a little bonus. But if your shoulders aren't happy about that, leave that part out. Nice. And then from here, take it into some little twists, and you're going to let your feet kind of move with you. So you're going to get a little pivot of your heels and a nice gentle bit of movement in the spine. Five seconds left. And time. Nice. Okay, now grab your hand weights. And then we're going to take it and walk a little bit of length of our mat. So what you'll want to do is just check behind you and make sure that you're behind you where you won't be able to see if you're walking backwards is just a little bit clear. So make sure you have a good enough clear space. And then grabbing your hand weights, we're going to walk backwards, touch down to the ground, and then walk forward and give an overhead press at the top of your mat. Walk backwards, see if you can keep your gaze forward, just getting a sense of where you are connected to space, touch the ground, and then walk yourself forward and give an overhead press. And then once you've got that down, as you're walking backwards and forwards with your weights at your sides, take it into a little bit of a farmer's carry. So your hands are being held slightly away from the side of your body, arms are engaged. And then we're just working that proprioception. Where is your body connected to the space that you're working in? You got 3 seconds left. And time. Nice. Now hang on to your weights. We're going to take it into a squat with a bicep curl. And then as we rise up, we're going to take it into a little tricep press back. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart. Find an even stance that works for you. Sink into your squat, give a little bicep curl. And then as you come up, you're going to flip the palms and press your arms back behind you. Bring it back in. Sink into your squat, bicep curl, rise up, flip the palms, and press your arms back. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to work that at your pace. So you're going to make sure that you're keeping a nice even distance between the knees. And then a good little press behind you, but just make sure that it feels like a safe range of motion and you're not compromising your shoulders too much. Nice, you guys, beautiful work. If you're using lighter weights, once you've got it all down, take up the pace just a little bit. But if you're using heavier weights, be mindful, pay attention, especially to that press back, and just make sure it's a fairly safe maneuver for the shoulders and it feels good. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're going to take it into a sumo squat position. So step your feet wide, toes and knees turned out. We're going to hold that sumo squat. Light weights or no weights, going to be totally up to you, but we're going to take it into some palm flips. So our arms are going to be extended out straight from the shoulder, and we're just going to rotate the palms, flip them up and flip them down. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to hold that squat just as low as you can. Beautiful. Keep a little bit of a firmness in your belly. And then if at any point the weights feel like too much, set them down, but keep that work going in the shoulders. You're already halfway there. Nice, you guys. Yes. 15 seconds left. Woo, and time. Woo, lower your arms down, shake out your shoulders, wiggle out your legs. All right, now we're going to take it into a wide squat. Grab your weights again if you want to, but it's still a little bit of shoulder work. So with a little bit of a wide stance, toes turned slightly out, we're going to keep the weights straight out from the shoulder, sink into a squat, dip one knee in, dip the other knee in, rise back up, keeping the weights out in front of your shoulders the whole time. Knee in, and rise up. We got 1 minute on the clock. If at any point the weights on your hands feel like it's too much, leave that part off or just lower your arms down if it gets too fatiguing. But we really want to focus on that squat, lower down with control, bring one knee in, bring the other knee in, and then rise back up. Nice. Keep a little bit of a firmness in your belly so that you're not compromising your low back. Everything stays nice and controlled. Beautiful, Helen. Nice work. Seven seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome job. Lower your arms down. Woo, give everything a little shake. Now we're going to stick with weights if we can and take it into some tightrope walking with a waitress carry. So arms up and overhead or slightly away from the face, but we're going to keep a soft micro bend in the elbows just so that our arms feel happy about the situation. And then we're going to start to tight rope walk around your mat. So one foot in front of the other, walking the perimeter of your mat, or just walking a little square, whatever you've got going on the floor that you're working on. If you can, keep those arms up and overhead the whole time, and then find a little stability in your center. Draw your abdominal muscles in, take it nice and slow, one foot in front of the other. 13 seconds left. You got this. And time. Woo, nice job. Lower your arms down, give them a good shake. Now we're gonna take it into a lunge and we're gonna hold the lunge position. So step your right leg back, find a little bit of a lunge here. Elbows are gonna hug in at the side. We're gonna keep the elbows hugged in, and then we're just gonna start to turn the wrists a little bit side to side. So palms are facing up, 30 seconds of work there. All you gotta do is hold that lunge, keep the elbows pulled in, and just turn your wrists a little bit side to side. Nice, perfect. So we're not moving out of the shoulder here, we're moving out of the wrist joint. So we want to keep the elbows hugged in. And then it's like you're trying to pull the thumb to one side and then pull it the other way. Nice, and then holding with that lunge, we're gonna take it into some wrist curls. So elbows are gonna still stay hugged in at the ribs, and now we're just curling the wrists. So think about drawing the knuckles up and then drawing the knuckles down. So the forearms stay as stationary as they can, elbows stay hugged in, legs nice and strong. Nice work, you guys, beautiful. And time, awesome. Step that foot in, give it all a good shake out. And then we got to take it to the other side. So you're going to step the other foot back, finding that lunging position, hugging the elbows in. Once you've got yourself there, back to those wrists side to side. So elbows stay hugged in, and we're just moving the wrists. So we're pulling the thumb one direction and then pulling the thumb the other way, trying to keep everything else as stable as you can. And if it's too much with weights in the hands, just leave the weights off, but still work through the wrist there, just finding that range of motion. 2 more seconds. All right, now we're taking back to those wrist curls. So we're drawing the knuckles down and then drawing the knuckles up. Nice. And time. Awesome job. Step that foot in, give everything a nice good shake out. And now we're going to hold on to our weights if you like, just loading them up at the shoulders. And we're going to take 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other. Or just taking it into some side leg raises. So you're just going to step that foot out and pull it back in, keeping the toes and the knees pointing forward if you can. But if it feels better to externally rotate, do the version that feels good to you. But we want to see if we can find some work coming out of the side of the glutes. Keeping everything else as stable as you can, letting your toe touch down in between. So it's not so much a focus of balance as it is a focus of that glute work. Awesome, and then switch sides, step that foot down and take it the other way. Two seconds left. And time, awesome job. Lower your arms, shake out your legs. Now we're gonna come down into a planking position with elbows and forearms down, but keep your weights just nearby so that we can use them for our next round. Elbows and forearms down. You might choose to keep your knees down on the ground in that low plank position, but you can also lift the knees up. So you're gonna choose the variation of plank that you like best, but then we're gonna take it into some alternating elbow lifts. So in that planking position, you're gonna lift one elbow up and then lift the other elbow up. If you can stay in that higher plank with the knees lifted, awesome. But if it feels more supportive to keep the knees down, Do the version that feels best. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take it at your pace. If that isn't working for your shoulders or your elbows, stay in the low plank position and then just hold that nice and steady, or low plank position and bring it into a saw where you're just pushing through the heels and coming past your elbows. But if all is feeling good, alternating those lifts. Nice. You got 20 seconds left. You got this. Woo, and time. Beautiful work. Bring it into a tabletop position. And now we're going to bring our weights into play. So keeping your weights just in line with your hands, we're going to take it into some alternating rows. So you're going to pick a weight up, pull your elbow up towards your ribs, lower down, switch sides. Pull the elbow up, lower it down, and switch sides. You're going to take it at your pace, just alternating sides. Pick one weight up and then the other, drawing the elbow towards the ribs like you're trying to scrape your elbow against your ribs, and then lower with control. As you're doing that maneuver, everything else is going to stay nice and stable. So hips are going to stay steady. Shoulders are going to try and stay as stable as they can, and a little bit of firmness in your belly so your low back feels happy. Beautiful. You're already halfway there. Five seconds left. And time. Awesome. Now set your weights just a little off to the side. We're going to come down onto our belly. So come on down, take a second to just make sure everything feels good. Wiggle out your tush, wiggle out your shoulders. And then we're going to take it into we're going to alternate reach. So arms are going to reach up and overhead like you're going for a little swim. And then right hand's going to reach back, touch the back of your thigh, bring that hand back, and then to the other side. Left hand's going to reach back, touch the back of your left thigh, and reach it up. And then you're just going to start to take that at your pace, reaching one hand back, touching the thigh, and then take it to the other side. Go as fast or as slow as feels good, but just tune in. Notice your back, notice your shoulders, notice the muscles in the back of your body that are working to help make this movement happen. "20 seconds left. Nice work, you guys. And time. Awesome. Now we're going to stay in that belly down position. And now we're going to take it into some scorpion twists. So alternating sides. Right hand's going to reach out. You're going to roll over onto your right side, step your left foot behind you, bring it back in, slide that hand in and over to the other side. Left hand reaches out. We roll over onto the left and bring it back in. Once you got that down, take it as fast or as slow as you like. So we're just swinging from side to side, just stretching one arm out and then the other. So it's a little bit of mobility work in the shoulder. Nice. You're already halfway there. You got 5 seconds left. And time. Awesome. One more move here on our belly. So settle in, let your hands kind of stack on top of each other, forehead rest, and then we're going to abduct the legs slightly, and then we're just going to alternate leg lifts. So toes are pointing sort of out to the corners of your mat. So there's a little bit of space between the inner thighs, and then away we go. We're lifting one leg up and then the other, hopefully finding most of the work coming out of your glutes. Get that little squeeze in your butt as you lift the leg up, and then take it to the other side. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. And time. Awesome. Now we're going to spin it around and take it onto our back side, moving into some dead bugs. So laying on your back, knees are going to be bent up in that tabletop position, and arms are going to reach out straight from the shoulders. You might opt to stay here. This might be enough work for you here. If this feels good and you want extra work, you're going to lengthen the opposite hand, opposite foot out nice and long, pull it back in with control, and then switch sides. The arm and the leg that are reaching out is the only limbs that are moving. Everything else is going to try to stay as stationary as it can. So we extend opposite hand, opposite foot, pull it back in with control, and then switch sides. If that becomes too much, stick with this dead bug. I promise you, you'll find plenty of work in your center here. But if it's all feeling good, extend it out, pull it back in, and then find a pace that works for you. Something that you can keep your non-moving limbs stable with, and finding that work and connection in your center. Nice work, you guys. Beautiful. 20 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And now we're going to take it into some reverse crunches. So option one is just to keep your hands down alongside your hips. Keep your knees bent. You're just going to take a little lift of the tush and then lower it back down. So we're just curling the tailbone up. If that feels good and you want that little bit more, you're going to extend your legs up towards the sky and make it a bigger movement, lifting the hips up and then lowering them back down. Finding that little bit of contraction in the abdominal muscles as you lift up. And then if all of that is not working for you this morning, if you've got anything going on with the back, keep it smaller and just think of it as a knee crunch, pulling the knees towards the chest and then moving them slightly away. But if it's all feeling good, legs extended up, hips lifting away from the ground. Beautiful. You're already halfway there. And time. Awesome job. Set your feet down. We're going to move right into some butterfly bridges. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right, elbows down on the ground so that we can use our elbows for a little bit of leverage. We're going to press against the elbows, squeeze the glutes, lift your hips away from the ground, lower back down with control. Once you've got that down, go at a pace that feels good to you. If it feels like not quite enough work, then you're going to add some weights. You're going to load up your weights at your hips, using your hands to just hold the weights in place and then leaving those elbows off the ground so all the work comes out of your butt, the inner thighs and the outer thighs. 20 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Move your weights out of the way just for a second if you load it up. And now we're going to step our feet to the outer edges of the mat and then turn the toes out. So we're back to a bridge, but a different variation. So the toes are going to be turned out to the left and to the right, a wider stance position with your legs. And then you're just going to press into your feet, lift your hips as high as you can, lower back down with control. Once you've got that down, either hands down at your sides or let your hands reach up and overhead and move with you. Or if you want a little bit more work to strengthen, you're going to load back up, placing those weights on your hip bones, letting your hands just hold the weights in place, but letting your glutes, the backs of your legs, your abdominal muscles and the backside body do most of the work here. So hands are just helping hold the weights, but they're not lifting the weights up for you. Nice, you guys. 10 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Lower your butt down, move those weights off to the side. Our last bit of work here, legs are going to extend long. We're taking it into some roll-ups. So arms are going to reach up and overhead. As you exhale, reach up towards the ceiling, curl up the head, neck, and chest, reach past your toes. If you can, bend your knees if you feel like it's a little too much against the backs of the legs, and then roll it right back down. Nice and slow and controlled. Inhale, arms extend up and overhead. Exhale, and we roll up. Beautiful. As you're working here, you want to think about pushing through your heels to come up into that rolled up position, and then just bend your knees as you reach past your toes if your hamstrings are super tight. We got 20 seconds left. And Hope thinks you guys are doing a great job. 5 seconds left. All right, so the next time you roll up, stay up, and then step your feet so that they're just a little bit wider. Think about shoulder width distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider than that. And then we're going to bend the knees a lot, folding over, reaching towards your toes, finding a little bit of a roundness in the backside of your body. So just take a nice big breath here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, walk yourself up nice and slow. Step your feet in, big giant bend in the knees, wide position of the legs, and then just drop the knees side to side, finding a little windshield wiper action. Nice. One more swish of those knees side to side. And then we're going to spin the legs around through a tabletop position. Once you found your way into a tabletop position, you're going to curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back to your heels, just a little stretch to the bottoms of the feet and the toes. Awesome. And then come forward, keep the toes curled under, lift your butt up, walk your feet towards your hands into a little bit of a folded position. So keep your knees a little bit bent, let your hands be nice and heavy, let your head be nice and heavy, take a nice big breath. Nice and big giant bend in your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position. And then once you found your way up, left hand into the right palm, and we're just going to take a little stretch to the wrist, pressing your wrist forward. And then take it to the other side, fingertips into the palm, press your wrist forward. Nice, and then just reach your left hand out to shoulder height, and then we're gonna hug in. So fingertips are gonna lift, ear is gonna drop towards the shoulder, and then fingertips drop down and the ear drops away. Fingertips lift and the ear drops in. Fingertips drop down and the ear drops away. One more just like that. Fingertips in, eardrops in. Fingertips down, eardrops away. Head to neutral, float that hand down and then take it to the other side. Fingertips lift, eardrops in. Fingertips down and the eardrops away. Awesome. Fingertips lift and the eardrops in. Fingertips down and the eardrops away. One more time. Fingertips lift, eardrops in. Fingertips down, eardrops away. Head to neutral, hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, draw the knuckles down, and then pull the arms slightly away from the back of your body. Snuggle your shoulders in, lift your chin up towards the sky. Take a nice big breath. Cool, and then when you're ready, let it all go, shake it all out. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. You guys are amazing, nice work.